What's up, my peoples? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, just Denise. If you are interested in this video, if this is your first time being at my channel, come into my channel. Why don't you stop what you're doing? Because we all need peoples. And subscribe below. If you are a returning subscriber, hey, how you doing? I'm Siobhan Boo. Okay, that's not my name. My name is Courtney Denise. Just Denise. I'm kind of wrestling, going back and forth with name I should stick with. But as you can tell by the title of this video, I will be talking about some... As you can see by the title of this video, I will be talking about some touchy situations. I hope you enjoy this video. It took a lot for me to record this video. So if you would like to see me beat my face, which I think I did really good at, like really good, keep watching. And while I beat my face, I talk about my marriage, my estranged ex-husband, as well as the abuse that I went through. I don't need negative comments. Words of encouragement, of course, are always welcomed. I'm not looking for pity. I'm not playing victim. I'm not doing none of this on this video. I've literally recorded like 5 videos within like the last 2 weeks, and I've erased them. I'm just getting my story out there. If it helps someone, I would definitely love it. Even if it touches one person, like, that's great for me. So if you're interested to see me beat my face and talk about my story, talk about my experience, please continue to watch. What's up, my people? So I'm kind of going back and forth with if I want to change my channel name again. I know my channel has been all over the place literally for the last couple of years. I first started, my channel name was like Denise XXB or something like that. I feel like I had something in my eye. And then I changed it to Denise Talks, and then something else, and now just Denise. But I'm going back and forth with if I want to stick with just Denise or my first and middle name, which is Courtney Denise. So comment below and let me know what you think I should do. Y'all, I have literally recorded like 5 videos within the last week or so and erased them all. Like, not posting them, not wanting to post them, not editing them. A few that I wanted to, like something happened and I couldn't. And I keep saying that I'm going to get on this YouTube stuff and do it. But I don't know, like, I've just been going back and forth with a few things. Let me do my brows off camera because I'm going to do my makeup with y'all today and I'm going to talk. I think I'm going to finally buckle down and talk about marriage that is ending or did end, divorce, abuse, and yeah, just tell my story. So if you are interested in learning all about that, let me do my eyebrows real quick. And one moment. All right, and I am back. Brows are done. My brows are definitely sisters, not twins, but I think I do a good job. So once again, this video is to kind of talk about what I went through with leaving my marriage. This video is not to bash my ex-husband in any form. I'm just here to tell my story, and if it can help one person out, I'm good with that. I was married and with my husband, let's see, June of 2015 to March 2017. So if you guys can do the math. And in my marriage in the beginning, I was really happy. I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm looking this way because it's a mirror right there. I mean, I have this one, but you know. Anyway, in the beginning, I was really happy in my marriage. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to go deep into the story on how me and my husband met, but I mean, I don't know if anyone would be curious, but if you wish, I will do a story on that. But me and my husband, we were really happy when we first got married. We had a very small, intimate ceremony, like gathering ceremony, where it was just my dad, his wife, and my sister, and my brothers. And that was it. Nobody else came to our wedding. We were happy. Like, we had got married. We had already moved to Texas. We went back home to Kansas City, Missouri to do the wedding and our baby shower of our first child. And we were happy. Yeah, we got married June 2nd, 2015, and we had our first child together July. God, when my baby birthday? July 20th of 2015. There was no signs of abuse or anything else. And actually, now that I think about it, like, I'm just gonna jump right into it. I was physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually abused. And I'm okay to say that now because I'm healed. I can honestly say that. I'm happy. I'm over it. It's water under a bridge for real. So that's where I'm at with it. And actually, I've never told no one this story. The first sign of abuse did come in 2015, but I didn't think of it as abuse. I thought he was just being extra, whatever the case may be. But we had got into it when when my second child, Ray Ray, was little. She was only a couple weeks old, and he made me mad. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to sleep on the couch. And he made it seem like I was about to walk out the house and saying I wanted a divorce. Like, it was so crazy, and he pushed me on the couch. But it was more so like his body did it. So, I don't know. Maybe that was, well, I don't know. Maybe that was. I've never told nobody that. But anyway, the abuse didn't come until we start struggling more. And I say it like that not to make an excuse for him or, sorry, my makeup's over here. Not to make an excuse for him or say, oh, I know, this was the cause, but I know what kind of start making him change. And we did struggle a little bit at first in our marriage. Like, my husband was a 9-time felon, so it was hard. And one of the reasons we came to Texas, is because it's a felon-friendly state, if you all did not know that. This is really light, so I'm not going to put that much. So when we start struggling is when the abuse came. Well, we had moved to Texas in January of 2015, and then we made a rash decision and moved back home to Kansas City, Missouri from August of 2015 to literally December 31st of 2015. And January 1st, 2016, we was on the road back to Texas because we was just like, you know what, Kansas City must not be for us, because we start struggling. Like, everything went downhill. Like, literally anything you think of can go wrong went wrong. Like, our car caught on fire. He kept losing jobs. We didn't get approved for a place. Like, stuff just kept showing us that we wasn't supposed to be there. So we just both agreed on January 1st. Like, we had came up on 2 cars. My uncle bought us a car, and I still thank him for that. And then I was able to go to some little rinky-dink place and get approved for actually a really good car. And we literally loaded up our 2 kids at the time, and we drove back down here to Texas. And we were happy. However, we had to stay with family. And that's when it went downhill. Like, I don't want to go into detail about every situation because it would be really long. But for the first time in January of 2016, he put his hands on me. And he actually choked me out. And to the point where I blacked out just like very little, and I lost it. However, what I did was I let him back in. Like, literally, it happened on a Friday. He begged, he pleaded. We put him out, begged and pleaded, and he was back in the house that Saturday. And my family that we were staying with, she did feel a little uncomfortable. So she allowed us to stay there for 2 or 3 more weeks, but then basically told us, like, we had to go. We was making her household uncomfortable for her, which I understood. So we then went to a hotel. And at the time, it was just me, him, my oldest child, which she's now 11, and then our middle baby, which she's now 3. But it was just us. And she was actually like 7 or 8 months old, so you can kind of calculate how old they were. And we went and we stayed in a hotel for about a good 2 months. And it was hard. It was. And he put his hands on me there too, in the same manner. So now I'm pretty sure y'all thinking, like, if he's choking you out, like, why are you staying? I was married, and I've always been taught to be strong, be strong. And no one ever taught me to stay in an abusive relationship. And I'm not even about to say, oh, well, my mom was in an abusive relationship, so it was just something I was used to seeing. No, it wasn't that. In my head, I had that I was a wife. Like, I was legit a wife, and I had to work through whatever was going on with him. And I knew it was because he was frustrated. He was frustrated a lot because he couldn't carry our family on his back half the time. Like, He couldn't keep a job and don't get me wrong, I'm not making no excuse for him. It was his fault a lot of the time because his attitude was just so bad. I just never thought his attitude would get so bad to put his hands on me. So, you know, he put his hands on me twice. And at this time, I can honestly say I still kind of made excuses in my head to justify basically what I'm telling y'all now. But that justified it. So I was just like, you know what? When y'all get a place and get in your own apartment and, you know, everything goes back to normal, it'll be okay. And that's all I kept thinking about was it's going to be okay. Like, don't tell nobody yet, because if you tell anybody, they already don't like them because, you know, my family thought he got out and used me. But me and my husband originally met when I was 13 years old. And to this day, do I feel like my husband used me to, you know, for stability? No. In all actuality, I really feel like he loved me. My husband legit loved me. And he used to show it. But he also had anger issues, and he had demons that he was fighting himself, and he still is. And, you know, I stayed, and I shouldn't have. So, anyway, what really set me off with the abuse, and I'm not saying like, yeah, I'm doing my makeup so that I can try not to cry. And I'm not a big crier. I'm not a big super emotional person. And I don't want anyone to feel like, okay, oh, she got on here and she's crying. She want views, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm just telling my story. So that's why I'm kind of doing my makeup so that I won't. And if I kind of laugh about it, it's because I'm over it. I am over it now. Abuse is definitely not a funny matter, but I'm over it. So, anywho, I say all that to say, you know, we find, yo, this looks really good. But we ended up finding a place in March of 20. Where's my spray? Hold on, y'all. Spraying this right here in my face. Crazy. But anyway, we found a place March of 2016, and everything was good. Like, everything went back to normal. I started feeling loved, appreciated, like he was just his normal self again. And then I found out, I actually suffered from a miscarriage in February of 2015. And then I even start thinking, like, I wonder if the abuse, you know. Anywho, I don't like talking about that one. We got into our own place and everything went back to normal to me. And then in April, I found out I was pregnant again. And in all actuality, y'all, I did not want to be pregnant. I just didn't. But I found out I was pregnant in April. I was kind of real nonchalant about it. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then May, I don't even remember what the argument was about. But y'all, when I'm pregnant, like, I legit am sick 24 fucking 7. 24/7. So I just wasn't in the mood to argue. And he wanted to argue. And I think that's what really bothered me about my marriage is I was not the arguing type. But I was with a man that would wholeheartedly want to argue. Like, yo, it was so annoying. It was so annoying. Super annoying. So this particular night, I just did not feel like arguing. I didn't. So I tried to stop the conversation because we had always said, like, if it gets to any point where we're doing too much, let's stop it. And when we were in our right minds and we were happy, and I say when we were in our right minds because, again, I'm not trying to just bash him, but when we could just sit and talk and be good, it was good. And we could come up with so many ways on how we were going to fix our marriage. But then when the time came down to it and put forth effort, what we said we were going to do, he never did it. So it used to be annoying as fuck. But this particular night, I just did not want to argue. And this was the third time he put his hands on me, and it was the worst. It was the worst. Literally the worst time. I don't know if I'll tell that story. If y'all are interested in it, whatever, just let me know. If you're interested in it. But it was the worst time. And just to give bits and pieces for you guys to understand, like, he literally wrestled me down to choke me out until I passed out. Like, it wasn't like he can say, oh, it accidentally happened, I didn't mean for it. Like, and this was the third time, so I was tired of it. So I fought. And when I say I fought, I wrestled with him, and all I could think about was my legs are the strongest part of my body. So all I could think about was getting my legs up under him to get him off of me. And for the longest, it worked. Like, and for me to say for the longest it worked, meaning y'all, we were wrestling for a while for him to not tie me down, but to get me down, you know, to abuse me. And it was fucking horrible. He ended up kicking my door down. He ended up getting my gun, shooting it off, pointing it at me. Like, it was just a horrible night. Horrible night. And I put him out. But he kicked my door down so bad that my door could not close, like stay up. So he had to push our furniture in front of the door in order for the door to stay up. So he stayed in the house. But I did not sleep well, like, one, because of what he had just did, and two, because he was in there and I just didn't feel safe. So my apartment at the time here in Dallas had cameras, so, and I'm sure my neighbors heard the guns and me screaming and just the whole ordeal of the whole night. I heard my kids screaming because, you know, my two were there. And they told the office, and the office called me the next day. I almost got put out. But, I mean, I kind of played victim to them, so they didn't put me out, you know, because he wasn't on my lease. He was a felon. He couldn't be on my lease. So, you know, the apartment manager was like, look, we're not going to put you out. Just don't let him come back. You know, she went through abuse. She was like, it's not worth it. They're not going to change, you know, getting the spiel. And I heard her, but I didn't hear it because I wasn't tired. I wasn't done. But I thought I was, actually. I did. But it was also, well, if I put him out, where is he going to go? What is he going to do? Like, his mama's not going to let him stay with her. Because, like, we were in Texas. And, yes, his mom was here, but you know, I was just thinking about what if. And then I also kept thinking about, like, I'm pregnant. I just found out I'm pregnant with my third child in a city and state I'm not from. Like, where would I go if I leave? Like, so I stayed. But I disconnected from my husband. And that's when it just all hit the fan, y'all. Like, we was arguing a lot, but I had kept telling him, even when it was good, y'all, I would be staring at him. Because I knew I didn't love him the same, but I was trying. Like, I was being a praying wife. I was praying every day for my marriage. Like, legit every day. I felt like I was doing what needed to be done, but nothing was still working. So, one night we were arguing in front of the kids, and we kept saying we were going to stop doing that. But he would just egg it on. Well, my husband was the type to always, like, just run when we would argue or if something was wrong. Like, I was always stuck in the house with the kids to kind of work through my frustration with the argument. But he would always leave. But this particular day, like, I was just like, you know what? You're not leaving. Period, point blank. I'm about to go for a walk. And now, but this time, let me backtrack. By this time, we had our baby. I feel like I skipped forward a lot. I ended up letting them stay the third time because, like I said, I had nowhere to go, nothing to do. I finally had told my mom about the abuse, and she kept telling me, you know, to abort my baby. And, you know, I kind of understand where she was coming from, but in the same sense, I was just like, I can't do that. It was just a really bad situation that I was in. So, fast forward, we have our baby, and everything was cool. There was no more abuse after that time as far as physically, but emotionally, y'all, like, I was going through it. Like, I stopped going to church as much because he didn't feel like getting up. Especially, like, if he entertained or went out with his friends, because he would do that, and I would be stuck in the house, but I didn't care because I felt like he needed that. Like, maybe that would help him, you know, not be so angry, and we wouldn't have to walk on eggshells, because my husband was a character. Like, anything could set him off, and he was just negative, and everything else would be against him. So me and my oldest would kind of walk on eggshells sometimes, just because it was like we never knew what type of mood he was going to be in. And I definitely do regret that. Like, me and my daughter talk a lot, and she knows that the mistakes I made. You know, I talk to my 11-year-old about a lot sometimes, because as a kid, my mama really didn't do it with me when stuff was going on. And then when she started, it was like I understood more. So even though she's really young, I tell her not a lot, but enough for her to know, you know, mama tried. This is what it is. You've seen the patterns too. So yeah, we were good, but we would argue a lot. Well, I had my third baby in December of 2016. And in January, me and my husband had got into it a lot, y'all. Like, it was a lot. And this particular night, like I said, he was trying to run, and I was just like, no, you're not. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mother. Because when I had my last one, I feel like I'm starting to get all over the place as far as in the story. But anyway, once I had my last child, he wanted me to be a stay-at-home mom. And we used to argue a lot sometimes, because he would lose jobs, and I used to tell him, like, I worked all the way up to, you know, my 9th month, basically my due date, pregnant with both of our kids, because he couldn't keep a job and all this. So he wanted me to be a stay-at-home mom. Worst decision I've ever made with someone like him. In January, we argued, and I ended up calling my sister, like, you know what? I don't think I want this. I don't think I'm good to be a wife. And, oh, wow, that's really, oh, wow. Oh, God. I'm like, I don't think I'm really cut out for this wife thing. Like, and I said all that, but I meant it, but I didn't. But in a sense, I knew that I wasn't going to leave. So as I'm talking to my sister, like, it's like I got an epiphany. And I was like, you know what? I'm about to start praying this prayer. I'm not going to tell you what it is. This is what I'm telling my sister. Like, I'm not going to tell you what it is. But if it comes true, then I'll tell you. I said, but this has to be strictly between me and God, because, you know, I don't want anyone thinking anything. So I left it at that. So when I told my sister that, y'all, like, it had hit me that, okay, Courtney, you're starting to blame yourself. Get out of that. Because what if it's not you? What if this was something that was truly rushed? What if this is something that was truly rushed, and this isn't the man for you? So I do want people to understand that I did not, you know, I did not pray on the downfall of my marriage. I pray for my marriage every single day. I will pray over my husband. Like, if I woke up before my husband, I would literally, like, cover my hand over him and pray for him. And he's caught me doing it time to time. But that's just what I do, because I am a child of God. And, you know, I wanted to be back in church and all that. And I just couldn't. So prayer was my thing. Prayer and praise. So I started praying this prayer to God. And I told myself, you know, I told God, like, look, I need to be a better wife, obviously, because of everything that's going on. And if that's not the case, and it's not I need to be a better wife or he needs to be a better husband, show me what both of us need to do, basically. Help me help my husband. Help me be his helpmate, his soulmate, his partner, not just his wife, just everything that he needs. I would pray my regular prayer for my husband. And then I start adding in, like, and God, if this isn't the man for me, only you can let me know. God, I just ask that if this isn't the man for me, help me determine that. I said, but in a sense, God, I know that being a wife, the only way that I would leave is if he put his hands on me again. So, Lord, if this isn't the man for me, allow him to put his hands on me again. But if you do, I just ask that you allow me to live through it. And then I would never stay. Like, I will go. So that's what I did. And that was my prayer. Like, if he wasn't the man for me, no one could tell me, Courtney, leave your husband. Like, I just didn't allow people to do that. You could not have told me to leave my husband, and I would have done it. So I knew the only way that I would leave is if he was to put his hands on me again. But if, like I said, if he put his hands on me again, Lord, just allow me to live. And I will leave, and I will never go back. And surely enough, March of 2017, my husband put his hands on me again. But this time, it wasn't in private. It was in public. It was in the parking lot of a bank, in which when it came down to it, I had to escape from the car and run to the bank, and they had to lock it down in order for him not to even get to me. Not only that, was it in public and just public humiliation, having your husband choke you out in public in a rolling car with your 1-year-old in the back. So that was it for me. I was done. But the bank ended up calling the police. I filed a police report and I put them out. And I can honestly say that that was the best decision that I had made. Was it hard? Most definitely. I was suffering through postpartum depression already. My doctor had even told me as bad of postpartum depression I had, he wouldn't doubt if I was depressed before having my baby or even getting pregnant. And I was, but I was trying to hide it because I was trying to stay in a relationship that I should not have tried to stay in, you know? Oh no, I don't want that. I put my husband out and it was hard. It was really, really hard. I was depressed. I was suffering from anxiety. I was seeing a therapist because of course, I'm in the military, so I had to tell my unit because of the police report that got filed. And I ended up dropping the charges on my husband. That's a whole different story. I had a lot of support. I started going to see a psychiatrist, well, a therapist, and then I started to go see a psychiatrist because they felt I needed, you know, someone more experienced, someone that could write me prescriptions, because I got also diagnosed with PTSD from the trauma of the abuse. Like, it's so much I'm not telling y'all, but it's like, I don't know if I want to get in the nitty gritty of what I endured, but I was unable to go to church half the time. And then it was, well, I'm not waking up for church. Okay, well, I'll wake me and the girls up for church. If you go to church, it's going to be problems. Like, we're going to have a bad day. And it was just stuff like that where, or I would do my makeup, and everybody that knows me know, of course, I'm not licensed. I'm not a pro. But I like to play in makeup. And if I decide to go somewhere with you with makeup on, it shouldn't be a problem because you're my husband, I'm your wife. Like, you know, I'm not checking for nobody else. But it was always, well, why are you putting on this? Or if I was to get dressed and go to work, well, why are you wearing that? You got some nigga at work? And I was faithful, like 100% faithful. I don't know, but it was a struggle at first. And of course, he tried to paint a pretty picture to his family and friends, and they seen right through him because he was kind of like a trouble kid. It's just a lot. I say all that to say that anyone who is going through abuse in a relationship, like, it can be really hard. But you're not tired until you're tired. Like, no one could have told me to leave my husband. No one could have told me, you know, that he would have started abusing me. And then once he did, no one could tell me that I was wrong for staying, because in my mind, I was not wrong for staying. I tried to build on my relationship. With my marriage, I lost a lot of friendships. I lost a lot of relationships with family members, but I just feel like that, you know, people always try to tie him back to it. And since we haven't been together, they think, oh, we're supposed to be the best of friends and back tight. And I'm like, no, because all in all, it boiled down to I felt disrespected. That's why if any relationship in any manner ends with me, it's because I felt disrespected. And if I felt disrespected, and I'm telling you I felt disrespected, and I'm like, you need to apologize or we need to sit down and talk about it, but y'all don't want to, that has nothing to do with my ex-husband. That has something to do with me and you. So that's just to get all that out there. I've been through a really hard time getting over my husband, and it took a lot of prayer. It took a lot of meditation. I was tired of medication, so I started doing things in a different way to help me. Like, I start meditating, and I'll link the video of the meditation video that I started out with and listened to help me relax my mind and body and soul and everything. Like, to this day, I'll run to that video to help me. It's a sleep meditation type thing, like going to sleep. But I was doing those things to counter the medicine, because the depression medicine only made it worse for me. Like, it did not help. Like, I don't care what nobody say, it did not help. My anxiety medicine is like my holy grail, because I've been suffering from anxiety since I was like 14. So that medicine helps out a lot. But I did a lot to get over it. And one thing that I can say that I did was I moved back home for 6 months to Kansas City. And that helped me tremendously. Like, being around my grandma, my brothers, my sisters, like family and friends, seeing my best friend a lot, like, that truly helped me. And what I will say is what I was focused on at first was just being focused on my kids. I was like, fuck love, fuck a relationship, fuck marriage. I never want to be married again. I never want to be in a relationship again. I'm good. I just need to focus on my girls. And I tried to focus on them so much that I was getting more depressed. I was getting more down. I was still struggling. Like, I would wake up, take my kids daycare, go to work, pick them up, come home, make dinner, and then I would go in my room and I would just lay in the bed and cry. Like, so it was so many people that helped me get over that, and moving back home helped with that a lot. And that is when I realized and understood what people were saying. So hear me out and hear me out good. If you are going through abuse in any way, mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually, leave. Because that person abusing you is not going to stop. And if they stop physically, they're going to do it emotionally and mentally. If they stop doing it mentally, they're going to turn to do it physically. And if you are a very spiritual person, I'm not big on religion, but I'm big on a relationship with God, and I am a religious person. So with that, I say find God and find yourself. Like, literally, the number one advice that people were giving me that I was not taking heed to is take care of myself. Like, I had to put me as a priority, not my kids, not my best friend, not my grandma, not nobody. I had to put Courtney first. And when I started to put Courtney first is when I got back home and I realized, like, I had to put Courtney first. So with that, I would go shopping for my girls, but I started getting my hair done back on the normal. I started getting my nails done every 2 weeks. When I got paid, I was going to Victoria's Secret to give me something nice. Now, you say, oh, well, when you have time to take care of kids? Trust me, I took care of my kids first, but I also included me in that first as well. So if I went to Victoria's Secret and got me some bras and panties, I would just go get them maybe some shirts, or maybe 2 of them shirts, and then the next check, get my oldest something, or the 2 youngest something. Like, I made sure to put me first, and I got back to pampering and taking care of my skin and planning makeup again and just doing different stuff. So I slowly but surely gained my mojo back. And I will say this now as well. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, it's been too long. Like, when are you going to start dating again? Or don't let no one tell you, well, dang, it's only been a year. Like, why are you dating already? Like, damn, a year? How long am I supposed to wait? And I say that because, am I dating now? Yes, I am. I actually have a very good man, and he treats me wonderfully, like, wonderfully. And we just made it official, like, this month. So I'm pretty sure y'all will see him on my channel. Well, y'all have already. But he was literally, I have not even finished my face. I'm just talking. He is literally like my best friend. But it took me a year and like 7 months to say, okay, I want a man now. Like, I want to be in a relationship. Because at first I didn't. Like, when I went back to Kansas City, I was doing my own thing. You know, I was doing my ones and twos. And I'm not going to say I felt bad, because the person I was doing my ones and twos with, they knew I didn't want a relationship. Like, I mean, it is what it is. I needed some. And I needed somebody to be close to. And they understood that I was still, because in all actuality, I still was trying to get over my husband. And I knew I did not want a relationship. And I spoke that to anybody that tried to talk to me. Like, if you're wanting something more, like, I don't want it. It was one person in Kansas City that I was going to try to, you know, but I don't know, that I had went to Miami, and I'm sorry, I'm talking like this now. But I had went to Miami in June, and I won't lie, I did meet somebody in Miami, and he helped wake me up a lot to opening up my feelings. I ended up moving back to Texas, and coincidentally, he lives here in Texas as well. But no, I did not move back to Texas for a man. I moved back to Texas because, like I said, I never really wanted to go back to Kansas City, but I knew I needed it mentally to help, you know, with the healing process. So I moved back to Texas, and my now man, we are actually in the military together. I've never dated a military man, y'all, like, ever. I've been in the military now for 9 years, and I told myself, like, he's not active duty, he's reserves. And he was my friend first. Like, legit, I could classify him as my male best friend. and we talked about any and everything. Like, I totally feel comfortable with him, and I think that's what matters most. We were friends first, but our story is a whole nother story. Again, I didn't allow anyone to tell me that I needed to start dating. I didn't allow anyone to tell me that I needed not to date, because what's crazy is I called myself like taking numbers like 6 months after me and my husband had been broke up, and y'all, it was just, they got on my nerves. I didn't want to deal with it. Like, I was not ready. I moved on when I was ready to move on. And some may say that, oh, they still think it's too soon, because mentally I have went back and forth with some things, and you know, sometimes I still will have a breakdown over certain things, because it just hits me. Like, I have to go through a lot, and I shouldn't, but I do, and I'm strong, and I'm getting through it. So I do kind of move in silence more so now, but I want to get into YouTube. I want to express myself through creating things and things of that sort. And I kind of commend YouTubers on how they can get on here and just talk about their personal life, especially with so much judgment that happens in 2018. Like, you can't turn on social media without someone cracking on someone, or, girl, why you treating this like your diary? Like, why you telling all your business? Or people on the other hand be like, well, you post nothing, so you must be miserable. And actually, I'm having the best time of my life right now. Like, I am the happiest I have been in a long time. And not just because I have a man now, it's just because I'm happy. I know my worth, and I can honestly say that I'm a survivor. Like, I survived an abusive situation. I did not always keep God first, because sometimes I felt so disconnected to God. But all in the same breath, I had that small faith, you know, the size of like a mustard seed. So I feel like that's what kept me. So I will say, if you are going through abuse, find something to cling to, and keep hope alive. Look, I'm trying to be goofy, because it's like, it's such a serious matter that people forget to smile through it. People forget to joke through it, not in a joking way to hurt anyone's feelings, because again, I'm the one that was abused. Like, my husband used to choke me out until I passed out, literally. I felt weak. I felt like I didn't want to tell anybody, because I'm Courtney, like fucking Courtney Denise. Like, you allow some man to put his hands on you? No, of course I did not allow anyone to put their hands on me. But he's a man, so he used to overpower me a lot. And I always say that, and I've even told him, I feel like never slapped me or punched me or things of that sort, because he knew if I would have got to my gun, I probably would have shot and killed him. I feel like what he did though it was so extreme over nothing. And if you asked him why he abused me, it was, oh, well, she wasn't cleaning up how I wanted her to, or she yelled at me, I'm not a pussy. But if I didn't yell at him and attack him, like, that's another thing. I never did anything to disrespect my husband as a man. Like, I'm not that type of female that call her man a bunch of bitches and pussies. I'm not a woman who tries to fight her man. Like, I literally never placed myself in a man's position. Therefore, you should have never put me in a man's position by putting your hands on me. And like, I even was at a church, y'all, and oh my God, like, I'm gonna have to do a story time on how this church rubbed me such a wrong way with just one person, that I would never return to that church again. Like, it was horrible. But you know, I know this, I'm not gonna say this video is getting all over the place. I hope it's not getting all over the place, and this was like a smooth conversation as I edit it. I'm going to get over this anxiety, and I'm going to put this video out there. So if it's something that I brushed by or didn't really touch on in this video, please let me know, and I will record another video. I will end with, if you are being physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually abused in any type of way, leave. Especially if it is by your spouse or your man, boyfriend, girlfriend, your woman, however you want to, you know, categorize them. If they're doing it, leave, because it's not going to stop. They don't respect you. They don't love you. And I had to find that out. I had to love myself more. I had to say, okay, is my life more important or his? My life is more important, because I have to live for my girls. And if I die or be taken away from them, no one's going to take care of them like I would. Like, nothing is more amazing than a mother's love. Like, and if he kills me, he's going to prison. So my kids have no parents. So things like that stuck in the back of my head. I definitely had people to live for, which was my kids. So it was just like I said, I found myself. Find yourself. Meditate. If you need to smoke weed, y'all, by all means smoke weed. Like, I wouldn't say smoke cigarettes, but if you have to, find something that relaxes your nerves and totally mellows you out to where you can think on a clear head. When you are thinking on that clear head, if your clear head is saying leave, don't second guess that. Because remember, you have relaxed your mind and your body in a way to where you can think straight. Prayer helped me escape, and I thought straight, but I still never moved. Move your feet and leave. Don't wait until they do it again, because your journey may not be my journey, and the next time that they do it could ultimately kill you. And if you have kids, look your kids in the face. Look them in the face. Because when I would look my kids in the face, when I would think about it, I would just cry, because I knew no one would take care of them like I would. So that's my story. That is why I left my husband. My man that I'm with, like, he's never been married. He has kids. And am I thinking about marriage and kids, you know, more kids? In a sense, no. And he knows that. Like, I'm so back and forth. I don't want any more kids, y'all. I don't. I have 3 already. But I know that God has the final say. So if marriage and more kids is in my future, that's just what's in my future. But keep being amazing. Like, this man sucked the life out of me, and all I could think about was my kids. And then I got to the point where all I thought about was my health, because if I'm good and I'm healthy, my kids are good, because I can take care of them. I am in the United States Army. This is an old shirt. This is our old PT shirt, but being in the Army helped a lot too. And if you are in the United States Army or the military whatsoever, and you are being abused, tell your chain of command. Or if you are a law enlisted soldier, tell an NCO, go to your first sergeant, go to your commander, go to anyone within the military and let them know what is going on. And I promise you, like, when I say I was lucky, I was one of those lucky ones that when my husband abused me last and I put him out, I had money saved up. Like, I legit pocketed a lot of my income taxes and a lot of money I had, just stashed, because I felt something wasn't right in a sense. So, like, I was lucky and I didn't have to go to shelters or anything like that, but they have shelters, they have hotlines. If you are active duty in the military, you have more benefits and what word am I trying to use? Resources. You have more resources than I do, and I was just reserved. Like, my medication comes from the VA. I don't have to pay for my medication. So it's just like, if you are in the military and you are being abused, tell your chain of command, get help. There's people to talk to. There's people to see. Even when you think no one cares, they care. If you are have that feeling of embarrassment, please get over that. Because when you go to someone and you tell them that you are being abused, they feel special in a way where they felt like you were comfortable enough to tell me this. So they're going to embody you and let you know that I'm going to do whatever that I can to help you out. If it's that bad, like, they have shelters for women and children. They have shelters for men. If you're a man and you're getting abused, there should be no shame. Like, I'm pretty sure you have a boy, or if you are in the military, you have someone that you trust or look up to that you can tell. Not telling somebody, I think, is one of the worst decisions that I made. And if it was to ever happen again, which I don't think it will sometime, I would kill a motherfucker. You hear me? But that was one thing that I regret not doing, is telling someone. Tell someone and you'll be surprised on how you will be blessed. Leaving, y'all, when I say I was getting big lump sums of money out of nowhere, because once I left, I was like, okay, Lord, how am I going to be a single mother of 3 kids? I only knew about being a single mother of 1. And it took a minute to juggle being a single mother of 3 kids. Especially my kids' ages now are 11, 3, and 1. 11, 3, and 1. That 3 and that 1-year-old, y'all, they give me a run for my money every day. Every day. But I'm doing it. And you can do it too. So I just say stay strong. If you have any questions for me, like I said, I want to cut this video short because I know it's a lot, but I did brush over a lot. If you have any questions for me or you want to know the answers to anything, I have no problem with people asking me questions. Just be respectful, because at the end of the day, like, I'm a religious person and I'm a child of God, but don't come for me. And I'm so proud of myself because I told this story without crying, because I don't want pity. I'm not people look at me as a victim, but I'm not a victim. You're only a victim if you claim that title, and I don't claim that title whatsoever. I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor, and it is what it is. Like, people go through abuse, but you never know. You just never know what somebody is truly going through. You never know what somebody is truly going through. Like, people go through abuse all the time, and the sweetest person, the woman that's smiling the most, the man that is the goofiest, sometimes be those very men and women that are going through abuse. So, anywho, that is my story. I'm going to end this video because I've done my makeup. I really like how it turned out too. It's really cute. But if you would like to see any more videos from me, please let me know. I do have a lot of material planned. I'm gonna try to get content out a lot. I do want to do a story time more in depth about domestic violence and what I went through. If you are interested in seeing that, please comment below. I do have to kind of muscle up some courage to tell like specific details, but again, I know that my story could help someone. I also plan on doing a story time. It was a church, y'all, down here, like I said in the video, that rubbed me so wrong when I went through my abuse, and I just stopped going there. But I'm going to wrap up this video. I have to get dressed and enjoy my man and our kids. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you. I'm not a human being, and I cannot commit to